And so oftentimes we do this work as though we're starting from scratch. We're not starting from scratch. We're starting from burial. We're starting from intentional dismantling of that economic ecosystem that you were just talking about. And so we're not putting something together. We have to put something back together that was intentionally destroyed by governments, by businesses, by nonprofits, by the people who sat in all of our seats before us. So one thing I've learned is that we know well what equity isn't. We know well how to sit in a room or see a policy or see a tweet and say, that's not equity. But we don't always know what equity is. And you can't build something. You can't project something. You can't create something on the basis of knowing what it's not. I will tell you, as a parent who is tired of trying to find teachers who look like my child, I will tell you, as somebody who could spend this whole morning telling you stories of being pulled over by the police when I know I wasn't speeding, I could tell you, as someone who knows what it feels like to pawn literally everything in your apartment and still not make rent, that I am tired of talking about equity. So we got to figure out what equity means. A long time ago in a former life, I went to business school at Florida A&M University. And my dean of my business school knew what she was talking about when she said the word equity. As a matter of fact, all of you private sector folks in the room know what you're talking about when you say equity. You're talking about money. Because the first definition of equity, I'm going to give you three things that characterize equity for us as far as our guiding definition in St. Paul. The first one is participation in an economy. Evan, if I own equity in a company, that just basically means if that company has a good quarter, I have a good quarter too. That's the starting point. If we're going to be an equitable city, that means that as our skyline grows, as our tax base expands, somebody should have an easier time feeding their children. Somebody should be able to pay the rent. Equity means transferable, appreciable assets. Equity means ownership of transferable and appreciable assets. And I just want to get us out of the space where when we in our social justice life talk about equity, we don't know what we're talking about.